Hey, Nick, congratulations on the win. Obviously, the defensive effectiveness changed greatly at halftime. Why and what did you see that caused it to be so?
Well, I think you're right. It was about his um, two different of results defensively in a game as you can have, really. Well, I mean, I think the first half, Doug, when you start um, not doing some things well, and most of it just usually stems from a readiness standpoint. We weren't running back hard enough to get set.
Yeah.
Weren't quite getting out to shooters. We were kind of there, but not the way the game plan was set up. We just weren't moving and active enough. There was plays right in front of us, and we were kind of right there, and we couldn't react very well. And then it all changed. We got into them, and we started getting some deflections. We started swarming and flying. We started standing in there more on their drives, rebounding well. We just started doing everything better. And I think it just came down to some readiness and some energy that we found.
I know if you look at the numbers, it doesn't seem that Precious had a huge night, but I thought at the start of the fourth quarter, he really provided a lot of big energy. He made the three, but he had a block. He got some rebounds. That short spurts. Can you talk about his effectiveness there?
Yeah, you know what, Doug? He even did it in the first half. He was on the floor 2 or 3 times, digging out some loose balls. I thought his effort was great, right? And I think that's really all we're asking. I think he's going to make effective plays. He's so big and athletic. If he's amped up and playing hard, he's gonna impact the game. And you're right, he was doing a little bit of everything. And then you're also right, he throws in a big three. That was kind of a big momentum three there that kind of got us going too. So yeah, he played, again, one of those guys that didn't have a ton of shots or a ton of offense, but a really impactful game.
Great. Thanks very much. Safe trip back, Nick. Appreciate it.
Thanks, Doug.
Next, we'll go to Steven.
Hey, Nick. Does this game or does this victory, does it feel like bigger or more important than like previous ones, giving second half a back-to-back, you guys kind of stormed back in the second half? Does this feel like a bigger kind of win for you?
Well, it's a good win, right, Steven? I think it's a good win. I think you're right on the back end of a back-to-back, but again, it's just wanting to see some progress with this group and figure some things out. And it was good. I think the thing we figured out tonight is we didn't have our best juices flowing, right? That's just no other way to say it than that. But it's a long game, and you hang in there and you find a way to get them flowing, and then you start playing really good defensively. So again, that's just a learning thing, and continue to make progress with this team.
Well, to that point, like the second half turnaround, you mentioned how you guys didn't have the juices kind of flowing in that first half. Well, what does that say about this team? And in particular, like the younger guys, that they can just turn it up in that second half?
Well, I think that you learn that it is a long game, and sometimes you're not always going to be at your best, right? You really want to. You got to learn that this is a defense first, process. And again, we did a good job of not really overreacting to that first half. I thought we got in the locker room, and I actually said, "Geez, we're pretty fortunate. It's a 9-point game. There's a lot of ball to be played here. I think our offense is fine. We're going to score. It's just a matter of can we flip it around and start doing some of the things we need to do defensively," and we did.
Great. Thanks a lot, Nick.
Thank you.
Next, we'll go to Ryan Wolstadt.
Hey, Nick. Just curious what you make of how this kind of new starting five that's actually getting to play together, how it's looking, especially with this back-to-back.
Well, it's looking good. I mean, I think it's, that there's a lot of learning process to go on here yet. I think they start and they end, right? So we got put in a situation tonight where we needed to, execute offensively late on the road in a tough game. We had some good ones, had some not so good ones, right? Like those things need to get cleaned up, and we need to get a little bit more systematic on those things. Saying it wasn't bad, but there, you can't have any of those ones where you don't quite get into anything and the whole clock runs down and you don't get a decent shot up. So there's plenty to learn with them, but so far they're fine. They should be able to do a lot of different things, both offensively and defensively.
And with Scotty in particular, pretty quiet today and the 5 fouls. Was it, you think maybe he's just getting back and a back-to-back that sort of plays into it?
Yeah, I do. I think he's young, and it's getting used to the mental prep and all that stuff that you got to do, and the physicality of the games and all that stuff. And it's okay though. I thought again, he brought like everybody, he raised it up a little bit in the second half. I thought he played a lot better defense, was way more impactful. I see some openings for him offensively that I think we can get to here coming up. So that's another positive that I think I see with this crew late in the game and stuff.
Nice.
Yep. Thank you.
Next, we'll go to Kayla.
Hey, Coach. Just a question on Justin Champagnie and the energy that you've been able to see consistently, in particular over the last 2 games.
Yeah, I mean, he's had some big minutes. It's a good problem, Kayla, because he's out there impacting the game like crazy, and I'm sitting over there thinking, geez, I got to get OG back in. I got to get Scotty back in. I got to, Gary's over here, and I'm thinking, I don't really want to take him out, because he's getting a bunch of loose balls and all that kind of stuff. But it's kind of the role. He's a young guy, but he's just doing what he does, man. He's got an incredible nose for the ball. He's got an incredible nose for cutting behind the defense, as you saw tonight a couple times. And he's making hustle plays, which is awesome. It's a good fit with everybody else. We need it.
And lastly, from me, obviously the last little while with no fans in the building, you would assume the team would sound a lot louder, but particularly in the last couple of minutes of this game, you saw Pascal, Fred get very vocal. Are you noticing that in terms of the communication, how things have changed?
Well, we had another one of those good nights. I don't know if you were at the press conference a couple nights ago when I said we got to create our own fun.
Yeah.
we had another good night on the bench, man. Our guys, we had our defense in front of us in the second half, and it was super vocal from our staff and from our players and support staff and everybody. And everybody was like, really energized and tuned in to trying to help us guard. And that was fun.
Thank you.
Yep.
2 more here for you, Coach. First, we'll go to Josh.
Hey, Nick. We've talked a lot about Fred's on and off court numbers throughout the year. You've had really starter heavy lineups on the floor the last couple games when Fred's gone to the bench. And I think you guys are plus 16 when he hasn't been out there. How pleased are you with the effort from those groups and sort of holding the fort while Fred's been out?
Well, it's good, Josh. And it's, it's like, we're still pretty experimental, right? I mean, come out of that quarter break and he's out, and I'm not quite sure, but it's like Pascal at the 1, Precious and Chris, maybe Scotty or OG, and then somebody else. And it's like you're the first time you're doing that, you're looking on that on paper on that and wondering how that's going to function. And the first time we did that was against the Knicks, and they went out, I think 6-0. Knicks called a timeout, and then they went something like 8-3 out of that timeout. So they just kind of, not only did they hold fort, they kind of blew the game open a little bit. Again, I think there's a lot of learning to be done there. There's some possessions, they go zone on us, which we'll probably see quite a bit with that lineup. We've got to get to pushing the ball and beating the zone down the floor, and we've got to get to executing a little bit better. It's too bad because we did actually, in that stretch where they went zone and we came away with absolutely nothing there for about 4 minutes. We had about 3 wide open dunks that we either mishandled it or missed the pass, or, we were actually executing pretty good and didn't come away with anything. So just cleaning some of that stuff up.
Thanks, Nick. Safe travels back.
Thanks, Josh.
Last one for you, Coach. We'll go to Aaron Rose.
Hey, Nick. we've obviously talked a lot about Fred's all-star candidacy, and your other guys probably don't have the games to get there, but are you seeing sort of all-star caliber play lately from Siakam?
Yeah, for sure. For sure. And I guess probably have to take a longer look at that to see. I would imagine there's a lot of guys that don't have games played this year, right? I think that'll be interesting to see how that all shakes out, but he's certainly, he's playing at a super high level. I think his passing, his rebounding has been good. He only got 5 tonight, but it's been really good, as you know. I just think he's making a lot of good plays. Finished a couple big baskets tonight as well. So yeah, he's definitely playing at that level.